Hi there, it's Gabor from LVGL. I'd like to show you an important new feature in our UI editor. So far you could use only the XML editor, but right now we have introduced a designer mode as well, which is a drag and drop fashion way to edit UIs in a simpler way. So in the XML mode, you had a lot of power. You could create layouts easily. For example, this is a column layout, and here you could add a lot of widgets that are available in LVGL as well. You could also adjust the values and some other parameters, for example, the background color. So you have a lot of opportunities and a lot of flexibility to create modular and component-oriented UIs in an efficient way. However, this great power comes with a great cost as well. It really has a learning curve. You can't really ask a designer or a junior developer to jump right into it and create or modify your existing UI. To make the UI development workflow smoother and more inclusive, we have introduced the designer mode. Let's see how it works. Let's delete this content from the main screen and let's go to the home page here. Before jumping into it, there are two important things to highlight. First, what you can see right now is the first preview version of the drag and drop mode. It's not final, some important things are still missing. For example, there is no event handling. You can just create widgets and adjust the properties, but you cannot add events right now, for example. All these will be rolled out in the next releases. Second, we intentionally made the designer mode much simpler than the XML mode. Therefore, you can't use the built-in LVGL widgets and all the properties that they have. If we shown all the properties that you can configure, for example, on LVGL slider, all the style properties and all the general widget properties, it would be very overwhelming. So we have chosen another approach, but let's see it in the practice. By clicking this button, a starter library will be added with a lot of useful components. If I go back to my main screen and switch to design mode with this button, I can start using my mouse to create UIs. By clicking this plus button, I can add something to the screen. Let's start with something simple, value setter widget. If you click it, you can change its position. You can copy it as well. And if you click this button, you can immediately try it out. If you select one, on the left hand side you can also set its properties. You can set its X, Y, width and height. They can be set for all the components. However, there are only two more properties that you can set here. You can set how to format the value that is displaying. You can also format it like this. And you can say its percentage. You can also set which variable to adjust. Let's use the hour instead. In this case, of course, this formatting doesn't make much sense. So let's go for something like this. Right now, for this value setter, these are the only properties that you can set. But why? Let's check the XML to understand it better. Let's find the value setter. Here it is. So in its API, there are only two properties, a subject and a format, exactly the two things that we have seen. If I add a new property here, for example, color, its type is color, of course. The default value can be a constant. We have a lot of constants in this component library already. And we can use this color on the buttons. Now if I go back to the design mode, I will have the color property as well. And here I can change it as well. So it's absolutely up to you what kind of properties you expose, but only those properties will be available in the designer mode. If you think about it, it opens a lot of doors to separate the work in your team. You can have a core developer team who establishes a cross-product component library and also figures out what kind of properties should be exposed. But why is it good if you limit the number of properties? For two reasons. It's easier to use because you are not overwhelmed with hundreds of properties that you can adjust, only the ones that really matter. And also, it's impossible to mess up. If there were an opportunity to set the border width and the border color and the radius and all the positioning, there would be a chance to make it look bad as well and make it look different than it was expected in the design. If you don't let the users of the designer mode to edit these properties, you can make sure that it won't mess up your original intention. Let's see some more what you can do with this component library. I will show the home screen, which is an example screen available in the starter component library. As you can see, it's optimized for a little bit larger resolution, so I will go back to XML and change my project settings. Go for 800 by 480. Okay, now it looks better. So let's see what we have here. We have a lot of layouts. In a column layout, we can easily order items below each other. We have the header and this main content area. If you double click, you will see the children. You can also pick any children, like this one. And you can see its properties. For this roller, for example, we have exposed only the options. You can't change anything, you can't change the radius, you can't change the colors, you can change only the options. However, since we have modified the value setter, now you can change the color. This component library comes with a lot of useful things like an arc box where you can easily adjust values. Here we have exposed only the title, the variable or the subject that it changes, and the format as well. There's a quite flexible chart as well. You can change the colors, some values, point count, and a lot of things. Let's try it out. Let's bring it to the top, the whole row, bring it here so that it's more visible. And now we can set a new color. We can change the minimum value and the maximum value and the point count and the tick count. This chart is built from an actual LVGL chart, a scale to show these numbers. These are connected via some properties, so the whole thing works together out of the box. You can just create a chart and use the few properties that you should use to embed it into a user interface. That is it in short. If you would like to try it out, just go to pro.lvgl.io and click the download button and download it for your favorite platform. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, just write a comment here or write an email directly to us. Bye bye.